What's going on, everybody? Let's talk about fixing up our neoprene waders, one of the most common pairs of waders that get used whether you're out fishing or duck hunting. It's pretty common for a pair of neoprene waders to get a hole or a puncture in them. Whether you're hunting in heavily brushed areas, walking through sticks, or even rocks, sharp objects can sometimes be hard to avoid and accidents do happen. Although a hole can make these waders unusable, don't worry, there are ways that you can patch these waders to make them usable again. That way you don't have to miss a beat when you're out fishing or hunting. So today in this video, I'm gonna show you guys how you can repair your pair of TideWe neoprene waders. Let's go ahead and start off with what you'll need. The first thing that you're gonna wanna have is a wader repair kit. Now this kit is gonna be made available with the purchase of a pair of neoprene waders from TideWe. You're going to want a scissors. You're also gonna want a sponge or a small cloth, a pair of gloves if you don't wanna get your hands dirty, and then you're also going to need an iron. Another thing that you can have too as well is just a small brush to help you paint on the glue. The first step to repairing your neoprene waders is to find the leak. Now this is something that could be very simple if you already have worn these waders out in the water and you realized where the leak was. Otherwise, if you are struggling to find this leak, you can dump some water or spray some water onto the waders and then turn them inside out to look for a wet spot in order to find that leaky spot. Once you have found the leak, if you did spray some water or pour some water on your waders, go ahead and just wipe away all that excess water. That way you can ensure your waders are fully dried. So now inside of your repair kit, you're gonna notice that you're gonna have 3 items. One is gonna be a tube of glue that you are gonna use around that hole. Another piece that you'll have is a long rectangular strip. This is a waterproof patch. And then you're also going to have a piece of rectangular neoprene that's gonna match the pattern on the outside of the waders. I do wanna tell you, it is essential that your waders are thoroughly cleaned before performing this repair process. By starting with clean waders, we can achieve a better adhesion and a durable fix, ultimately extending the life of your waders. In terms of wader damage, there are generally 2 different types of wader damage that can occur. One is gonna be seams or stitching that has ripped or is leaking. And then the second problem that you can incur is a hole or a tear in the neoprene itself. So in today's video, we're gonna show you how you can fix both of these problems. So let's talk about the first case where your stitching or seam could be leaking. In this case, the first thing that you're gonna wanna find is the seam or the stitch line that is leaking. You can do this by turning your waders inside out and again, using water to really determine where that leak is. Once you have found the seam or stitch line that is leaking, you can take your scissors and cut your waterproof strip. You're gonna wanna trim a piece of this tape that is slightly larger than the tear itself. Once you have it trimmed to size, you can go ahead and place this tape adhesive side down. That means the rough knit fabric is going to be facing up. Warm up your iron to about 158 degrees, and then go ahead and place your strip over top of the leaky seam. You can press down onto the strip for about 10 seconds with your iron, and then slowly brush the iron over the affected area. Be sure that you're not leaving the iron in one spot for too long, as this can damage the neoprene. The heat from this iron will help the adhesive on the patch bond to the fabric correctly. Once you are done with that, you can go ahead and set your iron aside to allow your waders to cool. So now that you have repaired your seam or your stitch line on your pair of neoprene waders, let's go ahead and talk about how to repair a puncture or a hole in your waders. So again, the first step to repairing this type of problem is to first find the puncture or find the hole. Once you have found the puncture in your waders, go ahead and open up the tube of glue that came with your wader repair kit. You can take the cover off the glue and puncture a hole on the top of the tube and evenly spread some glue out over top of the hole or the puncture in the waders. This is where a brush could be used to help spread that glue out. Today, I'm just gonna use the top of the glue tube to spread this glue out evenly. Once you're done with that, go ahead and grab your piece of neoprene from the wader repair kit. What you're gonna wanna do is cut a piece of this neoprene that is gonna be slightly larger than the hole or puncture. Once you have cut that piece, flip this patch upside down to the non-patterned side and place some glue evenly on this side of the patch. Once you have spread some glue on that, wait about 5 minutes before applying a second layer of glue to the waders and the patch. Once you apply that second layer, wait another 5 minutes before proceeding. Once you have waited briefly for the glue to become tacky, go ahead and take your patch and press it firmly down onto the affected area. By pressing firmly, the glue is going to bond together, creating a waterproof seal. After the glue has dried, your waders are good to go. Now that's how you patch up your pair of neoprene waders, but do be sure that you wait at least 4 hours before using your waders or putting them back into service, as these waders are gonna need a little bit of time to properly bond and create a solid seal. By repairing your pair of neoprene waders, you can extend the life of these waders. That way you can get much more use out of them out in the field. Good luck hunting out there and happy adventures.